Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, start of a new week. I am going to disassemble this unit so that I can probably get to gluing it up later today. A couple of little fixes that I have to make, and some measurements that I'd like to take. But I really have to start getting these glued up so that I can get the final details in, like the LEDs fitted, I have to make handles, I have to make doors. It's a lot of stuff to do within a week and a half on top of the other work that I have. So that's the main focus for this week. Tomorrow I'm going to drop off the bed and install it on Wednesday, because there's like a conflict of tradesmen working on site, so I'm just going to drop it off, and then while Josh is here, and then do the install on my own on Wednesday. And then for the rest of the week I'm just going to focus on these things and start prepping the work that is for the rest of that flat that I'm doing. I haven't received all the wood for that work yet, so I can't really start it. The client would love for me to start it, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, that's what we're in for this week. Not much planned in terms of social activities, which is probably for the best. Let's get started. Easy. So I'm currently sitting with just panels everywhere. There's all of the offcuts, some of the offcuts. Panels, 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 panels. More, not the same panels for the same job, but more stuff. Luckily this is going out tomorrow, so it'll free up some space. This. Those boards will all stay, and then in a week and a half all of these boards will be out. And then we start over again and we fill it all up with other stuff. Yeah. Accuracy. Something I wanted to actually do yesterday, but I got very stuck in with the dominoing. If you'd like to see that, you can watch last week's video. This week, we're focusing on other things, but also the same things, because this job is taking me quite a while. Oh, yeah, I'm sleepy. I need some coffee. I'm having to wear gloves because my hands are literally peeling. Okie dokie. Made my mark. So I've made a mark here where I need the line on the opposite side of this to stretch all the way across. What I'll maybe do is also try to just do a recess in that line. Let's see what I can do, because that'll be a lot less work than doing all the way across. Let's see what we can figure out here. Okay. When you're adjusting things on these, taking the blade off or anything, I would suggest taking the battery out. I think it goes without saying, but maybe someone needs to hear it. This one luckily does have an on button, and then you have your trigger switch, which actually gets the blade going. So it's a good safety mechanism, but sometimes you can press two blades within a very short space of time without even trying. everyone. It is Tuesday. I have barely filmed a thing. It's been you can see I'm full of muck and dust. I delivered the bed. I'm gonna install it properly tomorrow when there's no one else on site. The client gave me keys to get in. It's like the dream of all dreams to just have keys to a client's house and to access it freely and whenever you need. It's like the best. Josh is here, he's busy sealing stuff. The Rubio job, he's sealing the Rubio job. I will get some good footage of that process when I do it later, or maybe if he's still doing it when I get back into the workshop later. I think I'm coming down with the flu like everyone else in Cape Town, which is terrible news. I'm gonna have to work through it. So I'm gonna have to get fully medicated and just work through it because I don't really have a choice to take time off at the moment. Anyways, I don't want to talk too much because I think I just talk a little bit too much and that you guys would probably prefer to see the woodworking happening. So let's cut to that. I've definitely had easier glue ups in my life. Probably need to assess how I'm doing this now and figure out how to do it better for the rest of these. I've still got 5 more after this, not all exactly the same. The other 2 are probably going to be, or the more complex 2 are going to be more challenging than this. I have to figure this out because if I don't, it could lead to some fairly problematic results. Ah! Fuck off. Good morning, everyone. You might be able to hear that I'm a bit sick and that my throat's a bit scratchy. I thought I'd just show you my glue up. I'm a bit disappointed in quite a lot of stuff that's happening here. Luckily, this is the underside. You don't see it. The glue up was really quite challenging. So I'm hoping that all the fingers on the faces that are showing will be neater and in better condition than a lot of these ones here. These aren't that bad. Quite tight. Oh, sorry, that's out of focus. It's quite tight, but it could be better, you know. See, there's a slight gap there on that one. But this is also the top. We'll put some of the Rubio filler in there, and it should disappear quite nicely. But yeah, there's the unit. I do also still have to fill this little mistake. This was an exceedingly painful and tricky glue up, so I'm hoping that today or this morning I need to glue one more up, and then I need to go and install the bed that I delivered yesterday. I sincerely hope that I'm going to be able to move this on my own. Having doubts that it's going to be easy in any way. It's probably going to be extremely difficult. Okay. Okay. Not bad. No, man. Yeah. Okay, so slightly better, but slightly worse in other parts. My joins are better, glue spewing out, but just the overall vibe is a lot more chaotic. It felt smoother though, so I don't know. But look at that. That's the back end. It's looking pretty good. Surprise. Okay, I'm back here at this beautiful flat. Some of you might remember from a couple of weeks ago that I was here to measure up. There's that lovely view. The weather's a little bit less picturesque, but it's beautiful nonetheless. Hi. What I'm doing today is I'm getting the backboard and the bed installed. Yesterday the client decided that she doesn't want this to be partitioned off anymore, which is probably a good idea because I have a feeling it'll make this space feel a little bit too small. Well, not too small, but it'll make the space feel smaller. Let's get to it here. I've got to make space for these cables, which is going to be a challenge in and of itself. And measure up and trim this, because I have a feeling that this wall is obviously not even on both ends. It's very nice soft lighting in here with those though. Okay, let's get to it. I'm sick, and that sucks. I'm sweating like a dog and feeling like one too. Although dogs probably feel pretty sick most of the time. Sick as in cool. Alright. Now. These are what I'm using to space it. I'm going to bolt them up against the wall and then just space it. And then I'll put some glue on and just glue it all together because I want to avoid going through the front of this. This flu has taken all my usual juice out of me. In general, I wouldn't recommend doing this. I forgot to bring the track saw. So jigsaw it is. If you're skilled with the jigsaw, which I'd say I kind of am, then you can do it, but make sure you have a very clean cut saw blade, otherwise you're going to get a lot of chip out. Generally use a track saw. Okay. My other recording device died, so we're using the old iPhone. Backrest is in. It was a bit of a mission. See the glue squeezing out on the bottom edges. I'm just gonna have to clean those out. Getting those, they gave me two different types of wall boxes, so I had to fit them differently. That one took much longer to do. So you can see I had to fit it in from the back, which is probably the best way. Like I would have preferred both of them be like that. And then this one fits in from the front. But I probably should have just actually fit this one in from the back too. This has taken me a little too long to do today. But I'm nearing my completion for today. So in my head, I really thought this was going to be a lot simpler of an install. It's proven to be quite I wouldn't say a nightmare, but it was more difficult than I expected. What the hell is that? It's almost 3 o'clock, haven't eaten lunch. Just feeling a bit miserable because I'm sick. Okay. Oh, that's a solid bed. Nice. There we go. Looking pretty good. There's some things I still need to return to fix, but I will be doing a bunch more stuff in this flat, so it's not too urgent right now. There's some, you can see there, imperfections on my joinery, and I need to come in and I think do a scribing, because this wall's all kinds of skew here, but it looks really nice. And as far as I can tell, it's pretty comfortable.
What's up? What's up? You wanna come in?
Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday. I am, as you can hear, actually sound a lot cooler like this, but I'm unwell. But I can't stop working, so we're just gonna have to work through it. Take these off of the roller base that I have here so that I can start stacking the next one that I've glued up, and then I'm gonna get another one glued up this morning. Do 1 or 2 small other things, then go to Rare Woods for my weekly Rare Woods trip. At this point, I feel rancid. These things are finally coming together. I just have to do quite a lot more now in order to get them properly finished. Okay, not so bad. Something I should mention is I'm adding these floating tenons. They're not there for strength necessarily. They will add a little bit of strength, but it's not enough to warrant. I wouldn't use floating tenons in the sense as an additive strength thing. It will add a little bit of strength in that part and that part to keep these together, and add a bit more sort of face grain glue up strength, because you don't really want to glue, you would never want to glue end grain to end grain. Luckily this is, long grain to end grain, which is stronger, but it's not the strongest. It's not a point of the cabinet that will come under a huge amount of stress. It's just a light handle. Excuse my voice, I'm quite sick. So yeah, just something to note when you are doing these sorts of things. It's not really about strength, it's about alignment, adding a tiny bit of strength, and not to glue end grain to end grain. There's lots of people explaining that on the internet, but end grain is basically like straws. So if you put glue on your end grain, it sucks it up on both sides, and then when you do glue it, you don't have enough glue that's actually staying on the surface to create a good glue. Sometimes it can work, but rarely is it a good idea. Also, what I'm doing is these have little registrations, so you can just register it against the corner, and then I just make a mark in the center, and then all three should match up quite easy. Okay, this unit I've had to do in 2 glue ups. I might even have to do it in 3, and I suspect the last one I will probably also have to do in 3 glue ups. I've gotten these uprights in. They've cured for longer than an hour, so they are stiff enough, especially considering I'm going to be adding clamps to them again now once I get this up. I'm going to do the shelves and the uprights here and on the other side. Then I'll see if it's going to make sense, then I'll add the top 2. And then I'm done clamping this one up.
Troublemaker, eh? That's the face of a troublemaker.
Good morning, everyone. Friday. My voice is a little bit less stuffed up or fucked up. Call it as it is. I probably shouldn't have glued this up before putting the lights in, because that's now going to be quite a struggle to feed in and remove the adhesive and then get back in. I'm off to Rare Woods. I emailed them yesterday in the hopes of them collecting and getting the order ready for me to pick up and pay for today. I don't think that happened. I'm back. That is 5,000 rands worth of wood. I'm now going to bring another 10,000 rands worth of wood in of white oak, and you'll see the difference. 9,000 rand, 5,000 rand, 55,000 rand per cubic meter, 30,000 rand per cubic meter. French oak, American white oak. Those prices are also discounted prices because of my being a woodworker that buys a lot of wood. Right, the workshop is chaos right now. Got my coffee. I just had my second breakfast. Lord of the Rings is on in the background there behind you guys as my comfort background stuff. This white oak needs to be stacked until I can deal with it, because it's going to be the 7th unit as a part of these units. So once it's all done, I'll start on that one. White oak is no joke. So this is something I should have done from the get-go. Also, excuse the no shoes. It's okay, guys. I just took them off. I'm going to sit down now and have some lunch, and then I'll put them back on. It's going to be okay. I can guarantee you. Sometimes you just need to let the puppies breathe. I need to do that more often than most. I'm trying to help you. Ah! Come, I want to help you. No! I'm sorry. I just want to get you into a tree. Good morning, everyone. My flu feels like it's taken a turn for probably the worse. Stick that through so that things are not going so well for this glue up. For some reason, my joints have popped out here at the top. They shouldn't be, because the distance between there and there is 2 meters, and the distance of this board is the same as the distance between internals there and there. And for some or other reason, when I took those clamps off, it held for about 10-20 minutes and then popped out. So what I'm going to do is get this on and clamp that in. And in that process, I'm going to squeeze glue in here and clamp these sides in, and then I'm going to put some evenly spaced screws in. Sounds terrible, I know, but I'll then router out a square on each one, and same thing on this side, so that it looks intentional, because I already had to do a patch here. So I'm going to do square patch there, screw, 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 and probably also screw there. That way I know that the screws aren't just an extra precaution. I doubt with immense pressure they could probably also snap, but I think with all the glue and that, they should be good. Job feels never ending. There's just so many different sort of small compartmental things that are a part of it because of the lights that are going in, the electrics that are going in, joinery, the light channels. So like all of those things really filled up. I haven't even gotten to the doors yet. Luckily, those should be relatively simple. Relatively.